I saw this video and I want to say something. So in his video, he's talking about not interrupting your friends when.
Okay, this is definitely going to be a long video, but just listen. So, I think I was 28, 27, 28. I had just moved to Atlanta, and this was back when I used to eat lunch at the strip clubs. Because the strip clubs in Atlanta got some of the best food. And me and some of my associates used to go to the strip club to eat lunch on a regular basis, especially when all of us had the same off day. Oh, it was girls' lunch out. Hey, y'all, what strip club we going to eat? So the kids were gone. We went to I can't remember what strip club we were at. Anyway, we met these three Italian men. Cool. Spent the whole day with them actually. Went, stayed at the strip club for a few hours, laughed, talked with them. Left there. Got in the car. We got in because they had a driver. Got in the car with them with a driver. And went to dinner and kicked it. Like, we kicked it the whole day. They had to bring us back to our cars. It was a whole lot. Everybody exchanged numbers, blah, 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 blah. Well, the Italian guy that I was talking to, me and him went on a few dates. And he would always be like, oh, well, I can come pick you up. No, thank you. I don't let people know where I live at. It takes at least 6 months to a year before you know where I live at. That's where I lay my head at. I'm telling y'all, I think I'm a dope dealer because you ain't gonna know where I lay my head at. So, we went to Piedmont Park this time. It was like a Sunday. We went to Piedmont Park, had a picnic, was enjoying ourselves. His grandmother called and said that she needed some stuff. And so he was like, oh, I gotta go. My grandmother just called and said she needed me to bring her some stuff. I was like, okay. He was like, you know what? Come with me. And I was like, I don't want to go to your grandma's house. He was like, no, just come. And then when we leave there, we can, go to the movies or whatever if it's not too much. I was like, well, I don't know because I still got to go check on the kids. Even though the kids ain't at home. Baby, I can't be with you all day. I need time by myself. So he was like, okay, okay. And he was like, well, just get in the car, man. I was like, I drive so you don't have to drive all the way back here. And I can leave your grandma's house and go home because it's like 45 minutes. The area she lives in is like 45 minutes from my house. And he was like, oh, okay. I think his grandma lived in like Alpharetta. And I think I told him I lived in Peachtree Corners. Definitely didn't live nowhere in none of that area. So, got to his grandmother's house. And his family was like, he brought him a nice chocolate black woman in the door. Oh, she's gorgeous. Her skin, I love it. Like, I was just sitting there like, how many times are they going to say black, black, black? That's all I kept on hearing. Oh, she's so beautiful. I love her black skin. Oh, you're so beautiful. I was coming out the bathroom and his sister was like, you're very pretty. I was like, oh, thank you. She was like, he's not who you think you are. He's not who you think he is. Please be careful. Don't end up like the last one. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, oh, but you didn't hear that from me, okay? Don't tell him I said that. And I was like, okay. So then I was talking to his uncle, and everybody was just talking to me, and his uncle was like, you're covered. Very covered. I'm surprised that he was even able to ask you out. You're so covered. And I was like, oh, okay. Left that alone. So then the grandmother came from out the back and she was like, oh, you brought a black woman home this time. She's beautiful. Oh, she's black. Oh, I need to talk to her. I love black women. Like, you keep on saying black woman for, why you keep saying it like that? That was me. Her. I kept on saying, when my car outside, she hit the fan, I can get in that car and I can go. So me and his grandmother were sitting in this little sitting area. He came over and put his hand on his grandmother, and she was like, what is it? And he was like, oh, no, I was just, seeing what you guys were talking about. She said, we're discussing what we want to. You need to go sit down. You bring a black woman in my home, I'm going to talk to her. And he was like, Granny, don't. She was like, bye. And he just kind of stood there. She said, I can still smell you. That means you're too close. Baby, he went on by his business. That lady looked at me in my eye. She was like, can I touch your hand? And I was like, huh? She was like, can I please touch your hand? And this was before I knew anything or knew what touching a hand meant. That lady, I was like, yeah, yeah, she touched my hand. She was like, you are covered and your angels are telling me to tell you to leave. He is not who you think you are. He assaults women. I need you to get away, because if he does something to you, it will end up bad for my family. The angels are already telling me. I will feed you and your kids. Y'all, that lady didn't know I had kids. She said, I will feed you and your kids, leave and never return. Does he know where you live? And I was like, no, ma'am. She said, okay. She said, I'm going to feed you. And I know he probably told you he was going to give you some money. I will put money in the food, okay? I'm going to put it in a bag. You block, never talk to him again. I said, yes, ma'am. Yeah, we were sitting at dinner. Now, my mind is everywhere. But I've been in a domestic violence relationship before, so I know that if they notice somebody has said something, then all hell will break loose. So I'm just sitting there. I'm in my head like, God, please let me make it out of this. I don't want to be in another domestic violence relationship. Like, God, please let me make it out. Please let me make it out. So I'm talking to everybody around the table, and I look up, and the grandmother was like, looking at the door. I was like, oh, it's time for me to go. So I'm acting like I'm texting. I was like, let me take this. I said, it's the kids. They keep texting me. So I go outside and I called the kids for real, like, hey, what y'all doing? Y'all having fun? I just want to call and tell you I love you. All right. Your Uncle Steve coming to pick you up? I was like, okay. So I'm talking, like, really, and I started laughing. I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I was like, okay. Well, I'll see y'all later. That's all I said. I turned around. He's standing at the door. Is everything okay? And I was like, oh, I didn't even hear you come outside. I was like, yeah, they overflooded the toilet or something. I was like, I told him I was on my way. I just wanted to go in and speak. I didn't want to just leave. And he was like, thank you for doing that. And he said something else. He was like, well, I can come and unclog the toilet for you. I was like, for what? I got maintenance. That's what I pay for. And he was like, okay, you're right. I was like, yeah, I live in a gated community. I pay too much money for them not to want to fix the stuff. And he was like, oh, okay. He was like, there's no gated community out here. I was like, it is. There's a lot of them. You just got to get out of the area. And he was like, oh, okay. And he just kept talking, and I went back in, and I was like, I'm sorry, guys, I got to go. It was nice to meet everybody. And his grandmother said, oh, wait, let me send you with some food. And I was like, okay. And she was like, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, my kids overflooded the toilet or something. She said, oh, you have kids. Let me make sure to send you enough food for them. Yeah, she sent me enough food for 4 days with snacks. And when I tell you, that lady gave me a bag full of food, snacks, drinks, everything. And said, thank you for being obedient. Gave me a big hug, whisper in my ear, block him as soon as you walk out that door. Be blessed. And don't let nobody dim your light ever again. I was riding down the street blocking that man. Like, so happy that the car I was in was a rental. Thank you, Jesus. Because if he ever decided I'm going to look that tag up, it would have came back to the rental, and the rental would have came straight to my job. It wouldn't came to me. But I blocked him. Probably like a few weeks later, I was at home. It was raining. I was looking at the news. Who picture pop up? Him. For assaulting a woman. And they were like, this is his fourth assault. Blah, 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 blah. This time it was on camera. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, pay attention. Not everybody is a hater. Some people want to make sure that you're covered and you're good. Some people are making sure that you understand this ain't what you want. And that was one of them instances. My angels were sending, pew, 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 tell her no. So I was so happy that they was like, girl, get the hell on. Get on, girl. But yeah,